Hey, Coach.
How you doing, Eric?
Good.
Good.
All
How's
right,
everybody
media.
doing? All right? How's
Good.
doing? Okay? Everybody set?
Yep, we're ready to go.
Yeah,
Media,
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we're good.
All right, good. Good. All right, no, they can go ahead with questions. We just wrapped up practice, so with that, go ahead with your questions.
JJ, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, I'm curious. In the offseason, you talked a lot about like personal responsibility as your message to players, but as positivity rates for COVID are skyrocketing in the communities in which they live, have you changed your message at all? Has it been sort of like, it's almost inevitable that some guys are going to wind up getting this just given how prevalent it is in our communities?
No, JJ, we really haven't changed it in regards to our message. It's been pretty constant this whole time. In a good way, we're over communicating and how to handle it. As you can tell, and what you see kind of across the country and in these different leagues is there are more and more that are happening. So what we got to do is we also talked about contingency plans and making sure you're prepared that way. So that's been the biggest deal right now is just doing everything we can to prevent and then expect the unexpected, really.
Dion Miller.
Matt, as you navigate this little slump in the middle of the season, how does Nick's experience really pay off in moments like this?
I think it's important, when you go through some slumps like this, you want to rely on each other. And like I said, about leaning in, making sure we do that. And not just as an offense, but really as a team collectively. So we've all been on a bunch of different teams in our careers. We've been around a lot of different people who have different personalities and handle adversity certain ways. And when you go through times like this, not just as an offense, but as a team, you really depend on one another in these times. And I think staying positive, you guys know that's one of Nick's strengths, and that's what we're all doing here around here right now.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Matt, with us bringing up play calling a bit over the past couple of weeks, I was curious, like how much of that has become maybe part of the fabric of who you are, maybe even dating back to your Kansas City days, like the time spent, maybe the nights thinking about it, the day of, like how much has it sort of become part of who you are as a coach? The
play calling?
Yes.
I think it's, it's an interesting topic in a lot of different ways. And, it's something that when things are going well or when things aren't going well, a lot of times, just like, with a quarterback in different positions, that's a part of our job, right? So you're going to get criticized when things aren't going well. You're going to get praised when things are going really well. And maybe sometimes it's not always that. Now, in these situations, I'm not saying that that's the case at all. I think that we're all understanding that we all have to do our part individually, collectively, as a product. We all need to see who we are. How can we be better to make the whole better? And that comes with the territory. When you are a head coach and you call plays, you're always going to have that where when things don't go well, you always have to start with yourself as a leader, as a play caller, as a teacher, all of that stuff combined. So that's kind of what we've been doing and where we're at right now.
Jeff Dickerson.
Hey, Matt, how are things trending with David Montgomery? Is he in just a better position right now? And I assume the extra day is something you guys welcome in terms of maybe getting these guys back on the field on Monday.
Yeah, I would think every day would help. But again, he's in that protocol, Jeff. So we just don't have a lot that we can do with him being in there. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see and hope that each day he gets a little bit better.
Mike Berman.
Matt, when you're at this point of a season and, it's the midpoint and things aren't going as well as you'd like, how dangerous is it in terms of a season kind of careening off the cliff and going in the wrong direction? Like, how tenuous is this point in the year right here?
No, it's not for us, because for us, we go week to week, and we're in week, heading into week 10 right now. We're 5-4. We understand that we have, 7 games left, and, we're at a position here where 5 of them are in a division. We talk about how important the division games are. And for us, we talk about the biggest part is control what you can control. And right now we've put ourselves in this position being in 5-4. And so we got to win this week and then worry about what happens in the bye week and then what happens after that. And I think for us, probably the biggest thing, Mike, is that we've been through this last year where it's a similar feeling when you lose, several games in a row. And so that kind of calloused us for where we're at right now and how we're handling this. And I think that's what it's been interesting for me, is to see how our guys are reacting to it. And they're doing good. And I know that they're hungry. This is not something where their attitudes are changing for the negative. We know that we have each other in this building, and that's where we're at right now.
Jason Leisure.
Matt, can you say it's business as usual, or do you see a heightened sense of urgency as you're getting late in the season and as that record, goes from 5-1 to 5-4?
Yeah, here's what I would say is you can definitely feel right now a positive motivation to go out and win this weekend, if that's probably the best way to put it. So I don't know if it's a sense of urgency. Every week that goes by now, it becomes more and more important, obviously, for a lot of different reasons. And so they understand that, and they realize, and we realize as a team collectively, that it's probably for us more than anything is really looking to put that game where we just all three phases play well together and just cut it loose is what we're really looking forward to doing.
Mark Potash.
Hey, man, you guys made such a strong play for David Montgomery. He's a great fit for this offense. If he can't go, how much does it affect things? Especially, I know you say next man up, but I mean, when you lose him, do you lose more? And also, is it a close call between Lamar Miller and Ryan Nall? One guy's more experienced in your offense, one guy's more proven in the NFL. Is that a close call to replace Montgomery?
Well, anytime you lose a player like David Montgomery, that's obviously a big loss. I have so much respect for the way that he plays this game and what he does for this offense. And I know that we're far, far, far from him being what he can be as a running back in the league. And I'm excited to see that happen. The rest of the guys that you just mentioned, between Ryan Nall, Lamar Miller, and Pierce, they come to work every day, and they give us a great look with the look team. And so now here's a situation where, with David possibly being out and being in the concussion protocol, we'll see. I think that we rely on our coaches. They're all a little bit different. You have one guy that has experience in Lamar Miller, that's seen a lot of different defenses and has been in a lot of different NFL games and been to the Pro Bowl. You have another who's a rookie, and then you have another guy who's worked hard as a free agent to get to this point and is only growing more and more each week. So it's kind of for us a situation where we just rely on each other as coaches to figure out what's best for our offense.
Dan Wiederer.
Matt, are you willing to offer an update on Cody Whitehair and how he's doing in his situation right now?
Yeah, I really right now don't have anything with him. I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed as to where he's at. And I hope that, we get in a situation where we get good news here, but I don't have any updates right now, Dan, with his status. Really the same as the other guys.
Has he had symptoms? Has he had any sickness to go along with this?
I have no idea. I really don't know. I don't get into all the symptom stuff. I think what they're trying to do is between all those guys that have it, I just stay away from that. I don't get into that. I think he's doing pretty good though.
Pat Finley.
You're muted.
There, Pat.
You're still muted.
We'll come back to you, Pat. Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, the Vikings had a ton of draft picks this year. They seem to sort of be rebuilding parts of their defense on the fly. What stands out to you about that defense right now and how they're young but seemingly improving every week?
Well, I think you see guys, like you said, they're different pieces. One of the things we used to talk about the last couple of years was the amount of starts that defense had together collectively as a unit under Coach Zimmer. that was really impressive how many games they played together in a row. And now they don't have that. But when you have that, you saw, you can see it right now that they're starting to play with more and more confidence with each other. They have a couple rookies there in the back end. And then really in the middle there with their linebackers, guys that have been there before, and you can see them kind of running the show. So they're playing well right now, and they're running around playing fast. And anytime you have Harrison back there, you're always going to have a chance just because he's such a special player. Along with a lot of those other vets that they have.
Pat, we'll try you again.
How about now?
Yep, gotcha.
All right. How have you seen Nick handle something that would be probably pretty frustrating to most people? Nick seems overly optimistic around us. Is he like that to you? And how has he managed to kind of try to wade through this?
He is. No, he's that's one thing with Nick, I think you realize is he's not going to change a whole lot. He keeps things in perspective, and he's always going to, that's probably a strength, right? That some of us have and some of us don't have, is staying positive and staying happy and understanding, that sometimes we have challenges in life. And sometimes when you have challenges, how do you respond to it? Do you go in the dumps, and is it like just a terrible day all day long and you bring everybody else down, or do you get a little bit fired up and stay positive and say, let's go, let's have some positivity. And that's kind of how he works. And that's why I like seeing all your smiles on the cameras every day on Zoom. I get to see who laughs and who doesn't laugh. So that's like my favorite part of the day. See, Dan, right now.
Who doesn't laugh? Who doesn't laugh?
Dan's not laughing.
Brad Biggs.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about all three phases need to play well this week. I'm wondering, do you buy into the idea or the term at all of complementary football, or is that just kind of a jargon or a phrase that doesn't mean anything to you?
No, I think complementary football is important. It's something where you want to have all three phases playing well because they feed off of each other. And when one team is playing really well and another team's not, it can challenge you, not just physically and with the score, but it can challenge you mentally as well. So I just think overall it'd be nice for us as a unit and as a team and just everybody together to just put a good solid game together, go out there, have some fun, cut it loose, and come out of here with a win and get back on track. That's probably the biggest thing. I can remember that from last year was, we lost those 4 in a row, and it's just, no matter how it comes, Brad, you want to get a win because those wins help. It just really helps, and it helps you get going and you catch some breaks here or there. And I think that's the biggest thing for us right now heading into the bye after that.
2 more for Coach. Andy.
Hey, Matt, have you made a decision yet on whether you're going to call plays this week? And also, where is Mitch at in his recovery?
So in regards to calling plays, again, that's something that I'm going to keep internally right now with us, and we're talking through all that. And then Mitch is back in the building, and he's doing well. It was good to see him. He has a good energy with him right now. So I think for him, it was good to see him back in here and get back on track.
Last one, Jason.
Matt, I have a good laugh after the press conferences.
Oh, geez.
They're hilarious afterwards.
They're good afterwards. Good.
How is it the case that you don't know or don't ask about what's going on with Cody Whitehair? Are you trying to separate something here? It surprises me that was your answer, that you don't know and don't ask.
In regards to the symptoms, you said, right?
Yeah.
I know how Cody's doing, but what's that?
I think you said that about another player a week or two ago too, that you hadn't asked and didn't know.
About what? What do you
about their symptoms?
I don't know. You're confusing me right now, Jason.
When you said that you didn't know if Cody Whitehair was having symptoms and things like that and how he was doing, why is that? Why are you not staying on top of that? Why are you trying to separate that just because he's not available? Or I'm just curious philosophically how you're looking at that.
No, that's not something that I need to get into, and it's not something that there's nothing to that whether he has symptoms or not. There's nothing to that. That's exactly why. You'd probably have to call him and ask him. That's probably the best thing to do. we got a lot of other stuff going on too, and that's where we're at.
That's going to be it. Thanks, Coach. All right, guys, Nick Foles is on his way down right now. Hey, Nick.
Hey,
Dan Wiederer, first up.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
good. How are you, Dan?
Good. I'm curious how you would self-assess your pocket presence during this recent stretch and over your career in times where maybe it's gotten a little askew. What are the tricks to sort of getting that back together if it does ever get a little amiss?
I think the thing in the pocket is you're just always working on pushing up, trying to find time and everything like that. So, from that standpoint with footwork and everything, I feel good. It's something we work every day and, something that we just keep improving on.
How have you felt about it during this recent stretch overall?
I feel like footwork and everything, like I feel good. Like I said, we work on it every day. That's really all I have to say on it.
Colleen Kane.
Hey, Nick, I was just curious, what are your best memories or kind of the memories that stick with you from the last time you played the Vikings in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, I think just the energy in the stadium, just with, my teammates. It had nothing to do with any of the plays or anything. I just remember, the energy, like I said before, Meek Mill came on and the place went crazy. And it'll always be a special moment in my life. Just being right there, taking a moment, looking at my teammates, looking at my coaches, and taking a step back from the game of football and realizing it's more than a game. It's about the people you do it with. And that's what I remember. And then obviously the energy was then transferred to the field, and it was just an explosion on the field. And it was a good night.
Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Nick, I know you've played against Kirk a couple times in your career now, but when you think back to your time with him at Michigan State, what kind of stands out about him back about a decade ago?
Yeah, it's been a little while now. Kirk's always been a really talented player, even then at Michigan State. Hard worker, would always do all the little extra things, work in the weight room, film. We had a couple classes together, so just a really smart guy. And it was we were only there a year together, but not surprised at all with the success he's had.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, Pat.
Hey, I don't know whether you saw Tuesday, Brett Favre went on ESPN and said that if he had been the Eagles, he would have kept you instead of Carson Wentz. It kind of turned into a little mini forest fire back in Philly. I'm curious whether you heard it and why you think that's still a topic of discussion back there.
I think with anything, there's always going to be topics in the media. Y'all are in the media. Y'all know that anything that can create buzz, and that's the topic that can create buzz. I will say this, Carson, my time with Carson, he's one of the most outstanding players I've ever played with. The guy can do it all. I learned a lot. I think we both learned a lot from our time with one another. And, just extremely impressed with him as a player while I was with him. So the Eagles have a great quarterback in Carson Wentz. I know the guys in that locker room and the people there. And the most important thing is just to continue to believe in one another. And, Carson's been there. He knows how to get through all the different situations. And I was really impressed with how he handled even last season and just kept grinding. I know he's doing it this season as well. He's got guys there to support him. So I know it's a topic of discussion, but the guy's one of the most outstanding players I've played with in my career.
Deion Miller.
Nick, everyone we've talked to said that there is no panic and everybody's staying pretty positive, and they've said that kind of starts with you. But are you getting any sort of sense of urgency from the group to kind of pull the brakes on this skid before things really get out of control?
Yeah, it goes back to you can't really say. There's always been a sense of urgency since training camp. And a lot of times if you start holding tighter and tighter and tighter, it doesn't get better because then you can't see everything clearly. We just have to keep working. We have to keep, obviously, the self-inflicted wounds And then obviously third down this last week, execution, starting faster. There's always little things. And, I think the big thing now is just continuing to create a positive energy. And like I talked about that energy when I played in the NFC Championship game. It wasn't a play. Players are going to make plays, but you can't just bring energy. Energy's got to be created by the people. So that's something that we can do, is create energy to go out there and play at a level that can't be controlled. But that's what we have to do within ourselves. And that's throughout the week of preparation, work, and being in this together, staying positive together. Because we know, obviously, you answer questions, the criticism, the sense of urgency. I get all that. But I think if we can continue to go forward and get this like extreme energy, it'll help us a lot.
Mark Grody.
Yeah, hi, Nick. Matt Nagy has now been asked multiple times if he might hand over play calling to somebody else. And it's been as you said before, definitely a topic in the media. What's your reaction to all that when you hear that, if you have?
I think the big thing is whatever Coach Nagy decides or what he does, he's the head coach. Like, he can do what he wants to do. And, we're going to roll with it. Like, that's when you're in a leadership role, like, you make the decisions and everyone's right there to go with you. So whatever happens, if for some reason, he does, or he is calling plays, wherever it is, we're going to roll, and we're going to, be the Chicago Bears.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Nick, to go back to what you were saying about urgency and those feelings of preventing it from getting tighter and tighter and tighter, like, what do you do, maybe specifically yourself as a quarterback, to prevent that? Do you read something? Are there any techniques that you rely on to prevent those feelings from becoming overwhelming?
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think some people forget what I'm talking about is just human nature. It has nothing to do, like, we're all humans. So even us, I know sometimes people look at us as athletes and like we're superhuman. We're not. And I've said that before many times. We're human. So with that, yeah, I mean, what I read, so like the Bible, I'm a Christian, different positive books. A guy I love is John Gordon. He's got a lot of amazing books out there that deal with great teachings and positivity. Music, just uplifting music. Cause like at the end of the day, what you're putting in, like the media you're consuming, that's going to take effect on you. Words have power. Words have power. I mean, y'all are in an industry where your words have a lot of power, if you know it or not. You have the opportunity to be positive and affect people, or you have the opportunity to be negative. And that's what I truly believe. If we hear growing up, like, sticks and stones don't break my bone, like, words will never hurt me, whatever it is. Like, words are powerful. We see that today. Words have a lot of power. So for me, it's, what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, how I speak, trying to be positive. I'm not positive all the time. I'm a human being. There's, negative thoughts do come in, but I do my best. My wife is a huge rock for me. She's there. She was an athlete herself. She knows how it goes. So having great conversations with her to where she knows to keep me positive. She knows when I'm positive, I'm at my best. And I'd say that that's most human beings. When you're in a positive state, like, you're probably functioning at a pretty high level. So I know that's a lot of different things about the answer, but that's life. That's real. And hopefully that impacts someone out there.
Mike Berman.
Nick, I totally understand what you're saying with not tightening too much, because then it has the adverse effect. But do you think, in all reality, you guys are at a point, given the losing streak and the point in the season, where you could go in the wrong direction if you don't get it turned around? And just how critical is it to get it turned around immediately?
I think if you focus on that, like, all of a sudden you're creating more anxiety for yourself, because then it's like, all right, if all I'm thinking about is like, this could go this way, then your thoughts aren't clear on today. They aren't clear on what I need to do today, what I need to do to get done today. So for us, it's, hey, we're going to have film. We're going to analyze the film. We're going to critique the film. We're going to learn from the film, and we're going to be positive in doing that. And we're going to move forward. We're aware. It doesn't mean you're not aware of what you're speaking about with the future. You're aware of it, but you're not dwelling on it. Like, you're trying to do the little things, the attention to details, the work, the extra work, to get ready to go out. And when you play the game, give it every single thing you have, because during the week with your coaches and with your teammates. You gave it every single thing you had on the field and in the meeting room. And when you got home, you took care of yourself. So we're aware of all those things, but you can't dwell on them because all of a sudden you start paralyzing yourself.
Couple more for Nick. Stacy Dales.
Hey, Nick, trust is so hard to develop in every aspect of life. How would you or where would you grade or describe the level of trust that you feel with the offense at this stage right now?
Trust in what sort of sense? Like just everyone trusting each other? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, almost just playing, on strings. You were a basketball player. When five guys or girls play on strings, there's a cohesion to where you can make that blind throw if you need to one of your teammates or hand it off instinctually. Just the level of trust that you feel overall.
That's something there's been so many moving parts and so many new pieces. We continue to build that trust every single day. And especially through the trials that we're going through these last couple of weeks. We're not where we want to be, but we're improving every single day. And that's just, and that's where trust is created by going out there and practicing, going through together, communicating to where we know where we're going to be, we know what we're doing, and that we care about one another in the huddle. So I say we're continuing to build that trust and I think once we really get to that level of extreme trust and extreme energy, that's where everything starts to come to life.
Thank you.
Pat Finley.
Nick, you're always so positive when you talk to us about working through all of this. Do you ever just go home and scream into a pillow or anything like that? Is there is there any time where we're just being human?
Yeah.
You go negative?
Absolutely. And that's where I think Adam, you had asked the question, what do I do when I start going that direction? Because it's hard. I mean, you're going to put everything into this. You care. It's your vocation, but you're in there. You're playing this game. You're working, and you're part of sports is sometimes you hit a little losing streak. That's part of it. And there's these trials. Everyone's true colors come out. So then you're working through that. You're growing together. And yeah, there's definitely times where I go home and I'm pretty exhausted and I'm not in the greatest frame of mind. Absolutely. That's where my faith in Christ comes in. So I lean on that and, that uplifting, but my wife is always there and she'll kick me right in the butt and tell me how it is. And, I'm grateful for Tori for, she knows how to keep me going. We've gone through this so many times, so many ups and downs and roller coasters. She's been along for this crazy ride of a career. And she knows when I'm positive, I'm at my best. That's when, I go out there and I'm playing my best. But if for some reason I'm not in that frame of mind, she knows and she'll tell me and we'll talk through it. But I'm just like any other human, positive right now. But like I also have to practice what I preach. And there are times where I'm not as positive as I want to be. But that's okay. It's just not getting into the gutter to where you can't get out. It's like knowing that and then being self-aware and then knowing how to get out of that state. So like I said, it goes back to all the different positive things, my faith, reading scripture, journaling, talks with the Bible, talks with my teammates, talks with coaches. It's amazing how much fellowship with human beings that care about one another can affect you in a positive way. And that's where I say words have power. And I've said it to y'all before, if you go up to someone and give them a compliment and you really mean it, you're going to uplift that person's day. The same sense is if you go up and critique someone over and over again and it's negative, it's probably going to affect their day in a negative way. So just trying to uplift and be there for everyone. And, if we continue to create that, it becomes special.
Last one, Dan.
Nick, in your opinion, in your experience, what creates the click between a play caller and a quarterback?
It's a good question. Sometimes it just happens. And honestly, a lot of times it's grinding through trials and going through moments like this where it seems like at times there's a wall and, it becomes difficult, but you continue to push through it day by day and doing the little things right. And you keep working through it and you do it with one another. And then something is created throughout it. If you approach it the right way. That's a lot of things, when difficult things happen, that's where you learn the most. So right now, we went out there today, we worked, we're about to have a film pretty soon. And that's really all you can do. Just stay positive, keep working together, keep believing in one another and playing for one another. That's all I know to do. And that's what we'll keep doing.
Thanks, Nick.
All right. Appreciate y'all. You have a great night.